I am no man.
What's up, you guys? My name is Mark and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I made this Lord of the Rings Witch King helmet. This helmet is also referred to sometimes as a Negroni. No, Nagini? No, what is it? A Nazgul? Nazgul helmet? Am I saying that right? Honestly, I love Lord of the Rings, guys, but when it comes to actually knowing what this helmet is called, I'm not going to take the time to look it up, so deal with it. I downloaded the files for free off Thingiverse, and I will have a link in the description below for your perusement. Okay, first of all, this helmet is huge. Huge! I think it's even bigger than my Green Goblin helmet. I printed this helmet at 85% of the original file size because, as I've mentioned before, I have a really small head.
Look at the top of his head!
Yeah. I could go through the whole process on how I scale my helmets to fit my head, but that would actually take a really long time, and I don't really want to go through that right now.
Alright then, keep your secret.
If people are genuinely interested in how I scale my helmets, I can make a video on that in the future, but for now we're just gonna move on with the build. As I mentioned before, this helmet's really big.
Sometimes they say huge.
So I ended up splitting this helmet into 4 individual parts using Mesh Mixer, and then I printed them all individually on my Ender 5 Plus. After printing was complete, I took all 4 parts and melted them together using a soldering iron. The soldering job I did on this helmet was pretty ratchet, but since this helmet is supposed to have kind of a metal cast iron finish, I was okay with having some divots and scratches, and honestly didn't take that much time to sand down the seams afterwards anyway. Something that I did different for this build that I haven't done in my other builds is I put a coat of epoxy over the entire part before I sanded it. The epoxy that I used was just a regular surface epoxy that can be found at pretty much any Target or Walmart or even on Amazon. I used epoxy mainly to improve the rigidity of the helmet, but I was also curious to see if it made sanding any easier. Well, to answer my own question, you bet it did. Using epoxy almost entirely eliminated the need for sanding, and I'm really excited to try this on my other builds because I hate sanding.
I don't like sand.
Who doesn't? After the epoxy dried, all I did was sand lightly with 360 grit sandpaper, and that was it for sanding. I followed sanding with a light coat of primer and then went right to painting. If you guys are enjoying the video so far, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel for more content. It really helps me out, I really appreciate it, and it helps my content reach new viewers. Okay, shameless plug over, back to the video. The painting for this helmet was also super easy and straightforward. I used this Rust-Oleum black hammered paint as the base layer for the helmet. This gave the helmet the look of a textured metal surface that closely mimicked raw iron, which is exactly what I was going for. After the base layer, some Rust-Oleum metallic black paint was spritzed over the entirety of the helmet. Then after that, a few coats of satin clear coat were used to finish it off.
Finish him!
To achieve the look of endless blackness in the face of the mask,
Hello darkness, my old friend.
I used, you guessed it, a black neck gaiter. I cut this bad boy into a couple small pieces and simply used some super glue to attach it to the back of the mask. For the eyes, I used the same black material, but before I glued it to the back of the eyepieces, I stretched it. This way, I'm able to see through the material while still giving the appearance that my eyes are an endless void of nothingness that consumes your soul, pulls you into oblivion, while also mimicking the disapproval you received from your father as a child, forcing you to resent him and the rest of your immediate family for the entirety of your waking life. That got dark fast. Yeah. After all the black material was attached to the inside of the mask, the build was done and the final product looked like this. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel for more content. Until then, stay classy, and I'll see you in the next video.